Good morning. My friend is coming over later today, and so I wanted to make something a little bit special for her. We always like to have coffee, so why not make some coffee cake? You know, I find it odd that it's called coffee cake, but there's no coffee in it. Like, wouldn't every cake be considered coffee cake at that point? Because you can pretty much have any cake with coffee cookies. Coffee cake. Coffee muffin. Coffee. Okay, let's make this. I need my measuring cups. I'm feeling very gold today. My little nuggets are upstairs. First, we're going to make our crumble because we want that to dry while we're making the rest of it. We need a third of a cup of sugar, a third of a cup of brown sugar. It's still in a perfect little block. Super satisfying. Teaspoon of cinnamon, a little pinch of salt, and a teaspoon of cocoa powder. Just a little bit. I'm using this Hershey's Special Dark. It looked fun.
When's Stacy out?
I have no idea. That's rude. I know what Spider-Man is. Okay, then we're gonna whisk that together so there's no more little clumps in there. Oh, that smells delicious. Then we're gonna melt half a cup of butter. Talking around in circles with your tongue, I give you bass. You give me sweet talk, saying I'm your number one. I know you like your lips are moving, baby. Don't you know I'm done? Right. Then we're going to add our melted butter, our liquid gold. Look at that. I need a little spatula. Spoonula. Get all that goodness in there. Okay. Ooh, that bowl's still hot. Okay, we're gonna just mix that up. Now it's like a cinnamon soup. The other night I made a pumpkin pasta, which I had no idea how it was going to turn out. And at first when I tried it, I had skipped some of the seasoning on there and I was like, well, this is like baby food with noodles in it. And then my wonderful boyfriend was like, you should add some garlic salt. And I was like, garlic salt to pumpkin? And guess what? It was absolutely amazing. A little bit of garlic salt, Parmesan, shaved Parmesan. Apparently you can't go wrong with shaved Parmesan. The next night we added some leftover ham to it and just was so good. I don't know why cinnamon soup made me think of pumpkin pasta, but it was amazing. Okay, once that's all melted together, then we're gonna add half a cup of flour or half a cup of flour and just mix. This does not feel right. How is this? No wonder that felt wrong. It's 1.5 cups of flour. 1.5 cups of flour. I missed the one. Okay. Yeah, that's gonna turn into a crumble. Before I was like, is this supposed to dry and crack into some kind of paste? I don't know. But here we go. Now we're getting crumbly. You see that? Yeah. And I know that this is gonna go back in the oven once we put the muffins in to bake, but I still want to make sure that all of the dry flour is incorporated. So that way you're not just like getting like raw flour. You want to make sure all of that flour has a chance to touch all of the butter. There we go. That's a crumble right there. Look at that. Can you see that? That's what the crumble's supposed to look like. Voila. Okay. So now I'm going to scoop this out onto my parchment lined sheet over here just to kind of let it cool and let the butter kind of come back to a solid state so I have a nice crumble, not a cinnamon soup. I'm so tempted to eat some of these big chunks right here. Resist temptation. Okay, that looks gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Dry 10 to 15 minutes. Okie dokie. First thing we're gonna do, you're gonna get 1.5 cups of flour. 1.5 cups of flour. I'm using a 1/2 cup measuring cup, so it's gonna look like I'm putting more in there. 1.5. Beautiful. Then we're gonna do 1/2 cup of sugar, 1/2 cup of brown sugar. Just gonna pack that in there. Get in there. So aggressive. 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Voila. And whisk all those together. Okay. Then we're gonna whisk all of these together before we move on to our wet ingredients. Whisking. I wonder if I could put whiskey in this. Ooh, Irish coffee with coffee cake. Now we're talking. I've gotta show you guys this coffee that I found for my friend for Christmas. I still haven't even given it to him yet, but it's a Jack Daniel's coffee. And I am pretty thrilled to try it. If he lets me, it is his gift. Okay, I'm gonna get one more small bowl. Actually, I'm just gonna go ahead and reuse this bowl that I already used for our wet ingredients because it's all about the same. It's all the same ingredients. We're gonna do 3/4 cup of milk. 1. Can I get 3? Perfect. Thank you, Lord. I mean, if not, I was probably gonna use like heavy cream or half and half or something, but that worked out pretty nicely. 1/3 of a cup of oil and 2 eggs. All right, so let's whisk those together. My eggs aren't breaking. Okay, and when that is all nice and combined, we're gonna add the wet ingredients to the dry. We can be done with this one. And we're gonna combine these two. It's very nice. Now would be the time that I'm gonna tell you to preheat your oven, because whenever they tell you to preheat your oven at the beginning of a recipe, I'm like, no, you lie. I know you lie. 'Cause your lips are moving. Tell me, do you think I'm dumb? I don't know about you, but I don't think I need to have the oven on for a good like 20 minutes before I put the stuff in there. All I gotta do is hear that little beep, 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 right? Tidy up a little bit. Voila. Now we can take our cupcake pans and put our cute little cupcake liners in there. I got these cute little cupcake liners. I'll put the link in them below. And I'm not sure which one that I want to use, so I'm just gonna use a few of each. Why does the newspaper look like the cutest thing ever? Where did that come from? Okie dokie. Next, we're gonna take our handy dandy ice cream scoop and scoop a little bit of our batter into each one. They should be about 3/4 of the way full. So I'll go ahead and scoop some of this, and then if we need to add more, we'll add more. And wouldn't you know it, that came out absolutely perfect. Now we're gonna put our crumble on. Oh my goodness. For some reason, this is like a lovely texture. Oh, look at that. Didn't I say don't preheat your oven too early? I think I moved you over too far. I'm not gonna adjust the camera again. Yeah, I'm going to. There we go. Okay, and I'm just gonna crumble this onto each one. Well, those big chunks look really good, but I don't want huge chunks on there. Oh my gosh, just that little bit of cocoa powder in there. That's gonna be so good. Is there a stampede upstairs? What's happening? Oh, this one needs a little more. All right, we've got our very crumble-filled coffee cakes here. We're gonna go ahead and pop these in the oven at 375 for 15 to 17 minutes. And that gives us just enough time to kind of tidy up our little workspace here. While that's in the oven, we'll make our little glaze. We need 1/4 cup of powdered sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla, and 1 teaspoon of milk. Well, this would be milk, but I ran out of milk, so we're gonna use 1/2 and 1/2. Get our mini whisk and whisk that together. Now this to me looks like a teeny tiny little amount here. This doesn't look like nearly enough. But the last time I made a glaze, I made way too much. So this should be fine. Those got huge. Okay, now that these are out of the oven, oh my gosh, they came out so much like puffier than I thought they would. We're gonna take a little bit of our glaze here. Just give it a little drizzle. Oh my God, these look so good. These smell so good. Why are you not making these right now? MJ, honestly, like they're so easy to make. I think that's why I like baking so much, because it's really not that hard. Like everything is pretty much just a combination of butter, flour, sugar, and eggs, and some kind of like leavening, and yeah, and that's about it. I mean, you literally can't go wrong. If you didn't make these fluffy and you didn't do the right leavening in them, then okay, they're not a muffin. Maybe they're just like a dense cake thing. You can't go wrong. Just a little bit of extra sweetness on there, since we've already got a bunch of sugar sprinkles on top. That one got a little extra. Waste not, want not. Smells so good. But for real, look, do you see that? Do you smell it? Come here, I'll show you. Thank you guys so much for watching and hopefully baking along with me at home. If you liked this video, like this video. If you want more videos like this, subscribe. And if there's a recipe in particular that you would like to see, leave a comment. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram as well for more kitchen shenanigans. I need a moment with this. Look at that.